Hello. Good evening. I'm Professor McCoy, and welcome back, finally, to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Been a little while, 2 weeks now, I suppose. We missed out on Halloween last week, but hopefully you guys enjoyed my commentary on Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown and something like compensation. And hopefully been following along on my Thursday streams as well for Kingdom Come Deliverance. Otherwise, welcome back. We are all set to continue along, in this case, running up through Nar Shaddaa, trying to rescue our main character, the Jedi Exile, Mitris Surik, with the rest of the party. Then, there's going after this Godo fella, the exchange boss. There is, as the thumbnail might have indicated, excuse me, woke up way too early this morning. Especially for daylight savings. But there is a very, very long sequence. I remember it being excessively long. I don't know. I'm leveled a little bit more now, and I have lightsabers. On Godo's ship. That being the one in the thumbnail image. So, we are right now rushing off with a semi-elite crew. Not quite the same elite crew. I gotta remember all my controls, too. Shoot the heck out of everybody.
Just say the word. I am ready.
Bowder is looking hurt. Everyone kind of targeted him. Yeah, it happens.
I hear you. What's going on? I am ready.
Level up. Okay. What do we want for him? He's got Master Power Attack. That's very good. We've got Master Rapid Shot. That's good too. Weapon Focus Lightsabers. Advanced Jedi Defense might be worth it. Oh no, regenerate force points. Yeah, let's always do regenerate force points. He's already got health regen, so yeah. Powers. Better revive, better heal. Even better heal. Absolutely. That's what we need to do. Max out his potential as a healer.
What's going on? I am ready. Just say the word.
Atton is going to be the one opening things up because he has the sniper shot. There we go.
Something you need of me?
Alright. Yeah, so we have a lot of,
Accuracy ratio achieved. Systems failing, master.
There we go. We had a lot of rushing in to do.
What's going on? I am ready.
There's some dudes over there. There's some dudes over there. Probably some dudes over here. Is that where we need to go? Hold on. Oh, we need to go straight across. Where do we need to go exactly? And I forgot. What is this? Not it. That's what it is. This it? No. Darn it.
I hear you. Yourself. I am ready. I am listening. You have left me an opening.
Not bad. Alright. Wasn't actually that hard. Alright, so, this is actually turning out to be a lot easier than I remember it being. Mostly, I'm pretty sure this is because I am significantly higher level than what I was the previous time. MES, how often do you stream different games? I do the same ones each night of the week. So, I'll always do KOTOR 2 on Mondays, at least until I'm done with it. And then I will always continue with Kingdom Come Deliverance on Thursday. I don't want to jump back and forth too much. Let's do that. Let's just shoot.
I am listening.
So basically, I've got two games running more or less simultaneously at any given time. I'm going to turn the game volume down a little bit. This is super loud. I'm just realizing that my volume settings are for the other game. My bad. There we go. So, anyway.
Left me an opening. This won't take long. You have left me an opening.
Systems failing, Master. Systems failing, Master.
So basically, I switch back and forth between whatever two games I've got on the docket, and I try and keep it more or less one vaguely science fiction and one vaguely historical or fantasy or something like that. I more or less started this process with what was it? It was Mass Effect, the Mass Effect trilogy, and Red Dead Redemption 2. When they arrived, both much sooner yet much later than I'd hoped. For a while there, because it's a BioWare type of thing, I had Mass Effect and Dragon Age going simultaneously. When I finished Mass Effect, I did a few other things sort of simultaneously to the Dragon Age series, and I actually finished the Dragon Age series, and that was on Monday nights. No, that was Thursday nights. That was comparatively recently, because that is an incredibly long set of games. I mean, it's not a long set of games. It's a set of just 3 very long games. KOTOR, by contrast, is not terribly long. So, neither of them, KOTOR 1 or 2, not terribly long. They're old, so they have the very, very older style of more compact storytelling, less sprawling options and things like that. Let's see. I'm not looking for trouble. I was hoping for a civilized discussion. I'm happy to one violating etiquette, so you do not do the same. Based on your actions alone, I take it you are not familiar with the organization I serve or my responsibilities. I run the refugee sector. I decide what happens here. I control the flows and currents of this sector. You have caused a great deal of trouble for the exchange here on Nar Shaddaa, and I wish to know why. Can we ask, which game have you enjoyed when it comes to connecting with your interest in philosophy? Ooh. Man, I've had really interesting points and interesting things to say and interesting things to analyze in every game that I've played. And I know that's kind of cheating, kind of copping out there. But it's a really hard question. Most specifically with my academic interests, my actual expertise. My expertise is primarily in scholastic metaphysics and metaethics, which is pretty niche, but So it's where ethics and metaphysics sort of intersect primarily in the scholastic Christian high medieval context. Think Thomas Aquinas, but not primarily Thomas Aquinas. I study Aquinas like anybody who studies the Middle Ages, but I study a lot more of Anselm of Canterbury, of Duns Scotus, even as far back as Augustine, as far forward as William of Ockham. Um, but I think in the context of all that, I think, oddly, the Mass Effect trilogy has probably been where I had the most fun looking at it philosophically. Because first of all, science fiction has an incredible amount of philosophical depth, just in general, just sort of as a genre. Fantasy has its place, and it has its tropes, and it has a lot of things that it analyzes. And I'm a big fan of classical fantasy, more so than like swords and sorcery kind of fantasy. I'm a Tolkien fan more than a like Robert E. Howard sort of fan. Um, but or even more than a George Lucas fan for that matter, which is more fantasy. But science fiction has a way of treating the the anticipatable problems of the real world, right? And so why that's interesting in the context of Mass Effect is because Mass Effect does that in a spectacularly self-aware manner, um, yet without hitting you over the head with it too hard most of the time. Here and there, it's kind of ham-fisted here and there, especially with the AI stuff. But a lot of the things are really, really well done, really subtly done, and really interesting. Um, in fact, I had a tie-in video on humanism, and in the context, particularly of science fiction, but specifically in the context of Mass Effect. And it was my streams that really got me thinking about this. And I actually wound up teaching a unit on it in class, in an acquisition of knowledge class down at USF where I sometimes teach. It's my alma mater, so I go back and teach there sometimes when they'll have me. Um, but Yeah, I actually assigned Star Trek Six: The Undiscovered Country as one of our readings for this class. It's an honors class, so it's kind of non-traditional in a lot of ways. But we were talking about humanism and how we see ourselves in the context of ourselves, in the context of our world, and in the context of what lies beyond ourselves. How do we contextualize us versus them? And if we do that along lines of like, well, we're all one species, or we all have one planet, then what happens when we encounter new species that are also people, new planets with other life? Are we going to have to broaden our understanding, or are we going to remain the same kind of humanists that we have been throughout the 20th century? And I mean, looking at, I think Mass Effect more than almost any other science fiction I've seen does a spectacular job of showing that tension. And you see the tension primarily in the Paragon versus Renegade choices, because the Renegade choices are not evil. It's harsh, but it's humanity. It's pro-human. It is leadership. It is the strength of leadership. Whereas Paragon isn't so much just the good option, but it is the working together and the uniting uh, alternative, right? So it's a matter of do we have are we first considering humans qua biological species, or are we first considering people qua rational animals? In which case it would be interspecies and coalition building and all that kind of stuff, um, which is a huge tension in that series, and it's brilliantly done from the first game all the way through all three of them, especially once you get into the Cerberus stuff. So I have a video on that. I'll link it in the description after the fact. And I'll probably throw it in Discord as well, because I think I analyzed that issue kind of thoroughly, and then also all sorts of other things having to do with political theory and society and just war theory and artificial intelligence, obviously, all sorts of things that came up in that game series. Um, so I think that has to have been my favorite to have analyzed so far. There were elements of all the other ones. There was a lot of ethical stuff and a lot of social relations kind of stuff in Red Dead. Um, there was a lot on identity. There was a lot on identity in when I played Nier Automata. It was short, relatively, but there's a lot on identity there. Some interesting things again on social relations, on sort of sociology of religion, maybe call it, in when I played Far Cry 5. It's all about cults, as well as obviously political stuff. Um, and of course, the Dragon Age series. The Dragon Age series has a lot of. It is one of the few cases where a modern fantasy series, especially video game franchise, does such a good job, an even-handed and realistic job portraying religion and taking it seriously. It's excellent. It's absolutely excellent, and I'm glad to see it. Did I miss anything? I mean, Star Wars, but we're still talking about Star Wars, so there we go. And we're still talking about Kingdom Come as well, so. Did I miss any? I feel like I missed something that we've played and talked about. Maybe. I don't know, but in any case, I've in general, I've just greatly enjoyed this whole series, and I've also been really liking that this allows me to just sort of talk through a lot of thoughts that I wind up developing further, whether that's in the classroom, whether that's in writing or wherever else, because there is a good deal to be thought about, and I think video games are a great way to think things through because of its comparatively slow pace compared to other forms of literature, whether that's novels or whether that's especially film or television, are rapidly paced. Whereas a video game, you can do this, what I'm doing right now. Man, this is interesting. I want to think about it for 20 minutes, and then you can. Oh, the other one. There was another video I wanted to recommend from. Oh, I think the channel is called Exalted March. Writing this down so I don't forget, where he looks at classical science fiction tropes and the writing of classical science fiction stories, going back to the oldest modern science fiction of like in the late 19th century, people like Jules Verne, and he looks to two thematic through lines in any science fiction, in any ponderous science fiction, the thinking man science fiction, that's something like Mass Effect, where you're always looking for the monster and the rocket. The monster is the shadowy force which is at the edge of space. It is far away. It is over the horizon, but it's there, it's lingering, it's threatening, and it's most importantly unknown. And the rocket represents the hope of humanity, or just us, however we construe ourselves, the hope of going there anyway. And I mean, this is the Mass Effect drive, this is the Mass Effect relay, and this is the Reaper. You have the rocket, and you have the monster. And it's this brilliant dichotomy of how we interact with the unknown. Because when we encounter something that we don't know, we have a reaction of both hope and of fear. And in a lot of cases, it's the same reaction, or they're very difficult to disentangle. And honestly, that's actually something I think Mass Effect Andromeda did spectacularly well. Is this mixing of hope and fear, and it's mixing together. It's alternating back and forth. It's a very good sort of wagon train to space kind of immigrant story type thing. Mission of discovery and conflict, despite all of its flaws, which are very obvious. But I actually think I might play Mass Effect Andromeda soonish, because again, maybe this is on my mind because it's in 7 days, so it's November 7th, which Mass Effect fans have kind of taken on as their unofficial holiday, made official. BioWare's picked up on it, but it is really an incredible, very classical science fiction story. The Mass Effect trilogy, and even Andromeda. And I think it belongs up there with the great science fiction stories, and I think certainly it is more science fiction than Star Wars is. Star Wars is a space opera, but more so it's fantasy. Right? It's fantasy in space, genre-wise. It's far more it's far more fantasy than it is science fiction. But then it belongs up there with the Star Trek, Stargate, Babylon 5. Um, the other great. I mean, even I would even put it on par with something like Blade Runner. It deals with a lot of the same issues as Blade Runner as well. Deandra's Dream of Electric Sheep, things like this, like Asimov. It's very honestly, the Mass Effect trilogy manages to capture a lot of the ideas and themes um, and fundamental questions that Asimov covers quite well. Anyway, that was a really long answer to the question. I kind of went off on that, but it was a good question. So, I'm looking for some information. That's why I've been causing so much trouble. Actually, you know what? No, let's be self-righteous. Why don't you tell me why you're squeezing the life out of the refugee sector? We sought to put pressure on the refugee sector for a simple reason. Whenever seeming innocents are placed in danger, especially human fodder, the Jedi are lightsabers blazing. It is curious, though, we've been applying pressure on the humans in this sector for some time, yet only now do you show yourself. Emmy says Philip K. Dick is a legend. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's even the obvious influence of Lovecraft, which is a very different sort of species of sci-fi, but it's definitely sci-fi. Like the eldritch horror type thing is way more science fiction than it is fantasy. Because of that element of hope and fear that which is very different it's a little bit different for Lovecraft, but it's the same theme. It's I must know, even if it will drive me mad, even if it will kill me. I have to know. It's why most of the protagonists in Lovecraft stories and in every Lovecraftian story that's come after it, almost exclusively have been some kind of knowledge seeker. They've been private investigators, detectives, scholars, like archaeologists and things like that. It's people who just have this innate need to know, even if they also know that knowing will destroy them. Which is a much darker take on that dichotomy, but it's the same dichotomy. And he says, oh, I missed this. Says the old sci-fi was amazing for the simple fact that writers knew very little about how the universe actually worked. It's very true. Like especially the 19th century stuff. But there's things like that now. Like, think about Mass Effect. There have been developments in theoretical astrophysics since then. But if we speculate about, the level of realism that that Mass Effect takes is the one big lie, or one big deviation thing. It's the manipulation of gravity. If you can manipulate forces of gravity, you can do all this cool stuff with it, and that relies on, by contrast, a very careful knowledge of physics, as we best understand it. So you can know, okay, what if we tweaked one variable? What would change? But then also, it's still wondrous. There's a lot of things that you can do with little changes like that in the technology that are radical, that are mind-bending. Which is, like I said, which is very different from Star Wars, in which technology is just the technology is there not as a limitation, but as a way of expanding the horizons of the story. It's a galaxy-spanning story, not a country-spanning, or continent-spanning, or even world-spanning story. The only reason the technology is there for Star Wars is so you can get from planet to planet. That's it. And so you can, so your guns make cool sounds. Because functionally, everything's kind of, it's kind of, high fantasy. It's kind of Western. It's a blending of a lot of aspirational genres of classical fiction that are not science fiction, or at least not usually science fiction. Now, there are science fiction elements, like the Rakata in the first game, spot on science fiction element. The ancient lost the precursor civilization that destroyed itself. 100%. That is a sci-fi trope if I've ever seen one. Because it exists in Mass Effect. It exists in was it Babylon 5? I think it was Babylon 5. Um, Stargate, obviously. All sorts of things. It's even kind of in Star Trek. Kind of. The like proto-human things from TNG. I forget what they're called. Anyway. Oh, side note. I have a weird eclectic mix of what I'm drinking tonight. I have a nice mug of soup because I have class early in the morning. I have a delightful eggnog, which don't go well together, unfortunately. So long as I'm not drinking them at the same time, it's okay. And I do have something that goes well with the eggnog. I've got a Elysian Night Owl pumpkin ale. So wonderful. Okay, so I like that because of how I did this, did the quest in this game. None of these answers are actually true. Um, because it's not like I only just arrived on Nar Shaddaa. I couldn't have helped these people any faster. No, I could have. I arrived on Nar Shaddaa, did a few side quests, and then I hecked off for Dantooine as soon as I was able to make my lightsaber. And then, which is halfway across the galaxy. Like you got Nar Shaddaa up here, like over here, hot space. For you guys, over here, hot space. Dantooine is way down here, sort of galactic south, just outside the Hydian Way. So yeah, it's they're kind of far away from each other. That I was like, yeah, let's go to Nar Shaddaa, and then let's take this detour, literally halfway across the galaxy. Anyway. But let's go with this anyway. I only just arrived on Nar Shaddaa. I couldn't have helped these people any faster. Even though this is assuming that you played the game in a normal sequence and you went, you went to a planet, you did all the quests, and then you went to the next planet and you did all the quests. Oh well. Oh, the Jedi have always been slow to act when danger threatens, more so now than in the past, and you are no different. Still, if you are only a recent arrival, that would lend some validity to the rumors of another Jedi being here on Nar Shaddaa. Fortunately for me, I require just the one. So you hired bounty hunters to track me down. Why? Oh, you mistake me. I was not the one who put the original bounty on you. We all have our masters, you know. My soon-to-be deceased boss, Goto, is the one who placed the monumental sum of credits upon your head. Your price is so high that any bounty hunter who captures you would be able to buy their own planet. You must have angered Goto greatly for him to hunt you so. That's why you have the perfect bait, and why I will bring you to Goto, and then kill him. I hate that this works. The gas, it isn't you. I order you all attack the Jedi. Okay, the gas didn't work. That's good. I was a little concerned that it would work, which would be stupid. You all attack the you never truly worked for me.
While the Jedi remains on Nar Shaddaa, my eyes shall watch her.
Oh, it's Goto. I didn't. I wasn't. Please take the Jedi. I offer the human as a gift freely, as I would my own life.
Enough.
Okay. There's been enough killing. I hate that there's no, like, just don't intervene. You either have to be a sadistic bastard, or you have to be like, no, give peace a chance! Which is not fitting to the situation, like, at all. Well, that didn't work.
What an amusing Jedi specimen you are.
Well, that works, I guess. Really good I didn't land on that lightsaber. Jesus. Well, that works, I guess.
Saves me the trouble of having to break out of here.
Maybe you better tell me who you are and how you got here.
Name's Mira. I've been watching you all stumble around this moon for a while, causing trouble. But now you've got Goto's attention, and he's the last person you want to have watching you.
How did Visquis capture you?
Ugh, I was taken down like an amateur. I've never been inside the Jektar, but they won't catch me the same way twice. You may have defeated Visquis,
Okay.
but you won't take down Goto so easily. And now he's the one who has your friend.
Great. We need to find Mitra and rescue her.
Well, we can deal with that once we're out of here and someplace safe. Come on, I know one place where they won't find us.
Okay, good. Light side points. Alright. Light side points for being nice. Kreia? Oh, right, it's this. It's Kreia manipulating everyone she can possibly find.
Awaken, beast.
What have you done?
I have saved your life, beast. That makes it mine. Kneel.
Why did you do this? Why did you not let me die?
Because I need you to hunt, beast. This prey is something you have chased all your life. You are born and bred to it, like no predator before you.
You want me to hunt the human Jedi, the exile, and kill them?
No, that you shall not do. You will not bring harm to the exile, and if you do, beast, I shall break you. The screams of your tribe of primitives, the scene of lying blinded with the Huntress's blaster at your skull, I shall make it so that is all you hear and see for the rest of your days. Even your madness will not save you if you bring harm to the exile. Know this.
Kill me. You cannot bear the weight of another life debt. Kill me, or I swear I shall kill you.
I shall promise you this, beast. Unlike the red-maned Huntress, as long as you are loyal, I shall never show you mercy. No pity. But most of all, I promise you an end to your debt. Hunt her, pursue her, kill her, and ending her life will end your debt to me. The pain will pass. I was able to heal some of the wounds, but the rest must remain. You will need that pain when you travel, and it will give you strength for the hunt to come.
Where can I find Mira?
I will tell you where you must go. If you survive that place, then she will come to you. But first, I must prepare you for what is to come.
So, he is the only dark side Wookiee
We
in
took
the
out
entire
Visquis,
saga.
but Goto has her.
Anywhere, at least in,
And that
in
means
Legends.
no bounty for me.
In fact, I think it was this portrayal, like this in particular, that got Lucas to implement the no more Force-sensitive Wookiees rule, which was a thing. I think it was after this. Not after Chewbacca's Force-sensitive nephew, Lobaka? Not that. No, it wasn't that. It was this. I'm pretty sure it was this in the early 2000s that made Lucas say, nope, no more. Paying attention a little bit more to the EU, he said, no, I don't want more Wookiees being Force-sensitive at all if this is how you're going to do it. MBS, did the Wookiees deny the concept of suicide? I believe so. I think they see it as dishonorable, if I'm not mistaken, which is actually a common honor culture thing. Not in any way universal, common enough. It is, for a Wookiee at least, it is more honorable to be felled, to be taken out by someone else, rather than to kill oneself. And so, also, oh gosh, excuse me. Also, I think that another aspect of it is the seriousness of the life debt. That to kill oneself to get out of a life debt is to deny the person you owe. They've given you your life, so you shouldn't take it. Right? Something like that. They've saved your life, so you shouldn't take it away from them, so to speak. Right? So doing so would functionally be taking away, be going back on your life debt, something like. Yeah, Vikings were a good example of an honor culture that shunned suicide greatly. Now, by contrast, you have the the sort of samurai, the samurai codes of feudal Japan, where death, even by one's own hand, was preferable to dishonor in battle or defeat, that sort of thing. And so this isn't, like I said, this isn't universal. But on the other hand, you also have warrior cultures who accepted suicide, like the Spartans and the Romans, who were not particularly concerned with honor, but about practicality and also about the other virtues. The Romans were okay with suicide because it is your fundamental choice, and so it is better to kill oneself than to do something dishonorable, or excuse me, than to do something wrong, do something vicious, not dishonorable per se, but do something evil. For the Spartans, it was practicality. They were a warrior culture, but they were a militaristic warrior culture rather than a sort of honor-based warrior culture. So I think at least that Wookiees are strongly against suicide, which is also another reason why they are an honor culture that has a reputation for being slaves. Part of that is their sort of astrographic proximity to the Trandoshan, or to Dosha, the Trandoshan homeworld. They're often enslaved by Trandoshans who achieved spaceflight before they did, found this planet full of very strong relative primitives in their own home star system, and started enslaving them. And I think an aversion to suicide. Oh, excuse me. Go again. An aversion to suicide, I think, helped the Trandoshans do that to an extent. Because otherwise, if you were taken away from your planet with no hope of return, there's a fair chance you'll kill yourself. That is actually something that we see in, like, for example, the transatlantic slave trade here on Earth. That was a problem, so to speak, was that slaves would commit suicide, particularly like on the boat, on the ship, if they possibly could. And that's why they developed the sort of horrific methods of containment, which were not just to keep slaves from escaping, but to keep slaves from escaping this world, so to speak. Which is a great deal of which is really horrendous. I mean, obviously, that should really go without saying, but anyway. All right, so how do we get her back?
There's no way to get her back. No one knows how to reach Godo except Visquis, and that squid head died in the Jek Tar. The only way to reach Goto is if we had a Jedi, but now he's got your friend. He doesn't have anybody else he wants captured.
He's got to be in the Nar Shaddaa system somewhere.
He's got a cloaking device. He's the one that arranges the meetings on his ship, and until then, he can't be found. Trust me, if anyone knew how to track his ship, he'd have every bounty hunter and criminal on Nar Shaddaa gunning for it.
Okay. There must be a way. I say we hit orbit and start hunting. That's very Atten.
If you were hunting for Godo's yacht, your freighter would be flying blind. Well, unless it was one of Voga the Hutt's cargo ships. Then it would be snapped up by Godo pretty quick.
What does Godo want with Voga's freighters? I mean, we know this, but we're reiterating just in case you didn't do the side quest yet.
Godo's been preying on Vaga's freighters for a while now. It's the reason Vaga's had to haul his bulk up here to Nar Shaddaa from Nal Hutta. Even with all the traffic around Nar Shaddaa, Godo seems to always know which ones are Voga's, and his ship just snaps them up.
How would he know that?
Probably does it by tracking their transponder codes, but no one knows how he's getting them.
So if we got one of Voga's transponder codes, then Godo's ship might come to us.
I guess. You'd need to get the codes first, then retrofit your ship so it had the right transponder signal. Problem is, Voga's shut down the droid warehouse, until he can find out who's been leaking the codes. You'd have to be a droid to get in there.
Well, good thing we have some droids. I have a new droid for Voga. 2,000 credits.
Before I accept this, I must ask you how you acquired this particular droid.
I am champ. I win it in a Pizak match.
See? There should be no problems then. Credits will be transferred to your account as usual.
That easy? Really? Good. Hey, look, it's skeezy little Tabor. How did I do? Deep beep. You're welcome. Good luck with your plan, little droid. Look, it's sketchy little Tabor.
Let's get you to work. Report
We have a
to
Chadrafan.
C7E3
We have a Chadrafan
for
mechanic in our Star Wars tabletop game, and he's not at all like that personality-wise, but he's still cute and fuzzy. Recommend. Nah, not two weapon. Tough. So tough. Oh, that's it? Okay. Computer use and intelligence. Ooh. Yeah, no, that's good. Heavy blaster. Benox blaster. Droid deflector Mark II. With a defense barrier. Knock arm, ion blast, that's fine. Modular plating Mark III. There we go. Alright, yeah, I needed to change him out for primarily combat stuff.
I certainly hope that rude C7 unit didn't send you over here. Those more recent models have no etiquette programming whatsoever.
Oh my god. His voice and mannerisms remind me of the protocol droid from Star Wars Rebels.
I think he should be replaced
Dee
or
dee.
shipped down to maintenance to direct droids there. But I cannot seem to convince my masters of the logic of the request. Oh, I wouldn't go that far, despite what others would say. A number designation for a C7 unit means far more than an integer increase. Some droids undergo radical changes with each generation. Each numeric jump in sequence can have wide-ranging changes in functionality and temperament. But then, you are a new model yourself. I wouldn't expect you to understand how it feels. Now, was there something I could help you with? I see. Well, good day to you then.
So he's an antiquated model. That's what I'm getting. That is a weird thing, that with how nearly sentient droids in Star Wars are, it's very odd that, well, they're still treated like machines, but they also act like they're not. It's one of those weird tensions in Star Wars, and especially that they don't really deal with it.
I am sorry, but only authorized cargo droids are allowed into the warehouse. I cannot permit you to enter due to the sensitive cargo. No.
What did
in
that mean?
fact, I do not have you on my list of Codin's acquisitions. How did you get in here?
I'm new.
I see. Well, I have no current use for you. I'll assign you to C6E3. He needs the help to make up for his inferior programming.
Let's try and lie.
If you do not wish to comply with these instructions, I can have you given a memory wipe. and behavioral reprogramming. Good. Now report to C6E3.
Fine. Didn't work.
You will be assisting him. Yes, what? Shouldn't you be getting back to work? Keep this up and you'll be on the scrap heap by tomorrow.
Yeah, that didn't work.
As I said, only authorized...
Alright, yeah.
Should...
Alright, well, let's go back to C6.
Oh, you're back. What can I do for you? That C7 droid absolutely infuriates me. Needs help to do my job, do I? I would be happy to help you, but as long as that C7 unit is perched at the door, I can't. Well, if the C7 unit were to be disabled, my programming would require me to take over his responsibilities in his absence. Yes, I would be willing to give you access to the next room.
Here I go killing again.
As I said, only You can't be serious. I am not in need of deactivation. What are you talking about? How dreadful.
Ow.
What's all the commotion? Oh, I see. Well, that will show him. Obsolete piece of junk indeed.
I will say this game does a better job than most Star Wars media of almost humanizing droids, of making droids... I mean, to be fair, it usually plays it as a joke, but making droids out to be something like agents, having their own, causal powers, and having their own goals and motivations, and all of the weird disasters that can result from that.
Yes, of course. I'll get that open right away.
Thanks, new friend.
Just a moment. There. You're welcome.
Oh, how polite. There I go killing again. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, no. I thought that looked like an HK for a second. It's not, but... Energy collector, huh? D4. One and one. Wait, B4D4. That sounds super familiar. Sorry, I'm terribly busy. Unless you're here to help me with repairs, please get on with my work. I need trying to repair the communications relay. It must be running in time for the next set of transmissions. Daily transmissions are made at the docking schedules. Okay, got it. No, I don't think there's anything strange. Excuse me, back to work. Can I try and help? No, I can't try and help. Where do I know B4D4 from?
This area is restricted. Please return to your designated area. Please excuse my companion. He is easily excitable and takes our duty very seriously. In the hopes of avoiding an incident, I ask you to please return to your post. Door? I'm sorry. I don't believe I know what you are referring to. You must be mistaken. There is nothing of the
behind
sort.
you?
Now please, move along. Lying to you? But that would go against my programming. Please, as I said, you should return to your post.
Again, all of this doesn't seem like it fits our standard understanding of droids in Star Wars. Whatever is happening, they're having a conversation.
N1. He is right about your size. Being touchy about it won't change anything. Really,
What?
you're much too sensitive about these things.
Oops.
I don't know companion. He has always been excitable, but recently he's been like this. There was nothing I could do to stop him, and if I tried to leave, he would threaten me. Now I am free, thanks to you.
What in the hell? Oh god. Okay, this. Alright, leftmost block clockwise. Oh no! Reset. I thought I was doing the bottom one and do the top one to make it look like the bottom one. Okay. It's backwards. Alright, so I need to make the top one look like the bottom one. Means I need to make the leftmost block counterclockwise. That's not right. Reset. Alright. The centermost block counterclockwise. No, wait. The rightmost block clockwise. Now reset. Okay. It needs to be all the way over there. So if I rotate the center block counterclockwise. Uh-huh. And then the rightmost block clockwise. And then the left block counterclockwise. There we go. All right. I love that puzzle. That's really cool. Ooh, Kemi asks, which game do you enjoy most when it comes to philosophy of warfare? Of the ones I've played, probably Mass Effect again. Because the third game is entirely about a war. First game is a little bit less so, the second game not at all, but the third game is primarily about a war. All of them are very, very militaristic by comparison. And so, you know, just war theory and such plays in, especially because you're fighting an inhuman enemy in a very, very broad sense of the term. And
oh my, you startled me. What are you doing here?
And then also because there are all sorts of decisions to be made about the war, which are really just fascinating, especially in Mass Effect 3. Now, there were some really interesting elements in Nier Automata because of the war between Yorha, the androids, and the machines, which because it abstracts it away from humanity per se, it allows us to examine it in a lot more abstract detail, in ways that aren't so emotionally loaded, let's say. So there was some good talk about the philosophy of war in there. There's a little bit elsewhere. I mean, Star Wars, obviously. There was some of the talk about warfare when we were finishing up KOTOR 1. Although there's going to be probably a good bit when we get to Onderon here. Both KOTOR games were in the aftermath of two huge wars, of the Jedi Civil War and before that of the Mandalorian Wars, and even before that the Sith Wars. And so, historically speaking, we're in the context of warfare. And I haven't had much to say about warfare in Kingdom Come Deliverance because we haven't been doing a lot of it. But I expect there to be some. I expect there to be some talk of that as well. Otherwise, though, there was a little bit. I guess I had a little bit to say in Dragon Age, particularly in Origins. But no, I haven't been playing a lot of games that are extremely about warfare. Really, really about warfare. Conflict, combat, certainly, but smaller scale, and not typically not pitched battles, and especially not declared war, which is one of the conditions of just war theory. So I have to say Mass Effect again. I think, man, I guess it's appropriate for N7 Day. I guess that Mass Effect is really taking the awards here.
I monitor the transponder codes of all ships leaving the docks, then transmit departure information for any of Vaga the Hutt's freighters. The information is sent to a remote computer system. Oh, I see. In that case, I will upload the transponder codes to you. And here's the blank transponder card you need.
Wow, that worked.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go back to monitoring the traffic. It is important that relevant departure information is relayed as quickly as possible.
Well, okay then. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to solo 3 HKs.
You're not supposed to be here.
Oh man.
Confidence statement. You have the list of Voga's launch codes. You will give these to us now, or else we will be forced to take drastic action.
If T4 or T7, I can never remember, can take down 3 HK-50 assassin droids, this new model is an absolute joke.
Surprised statement. You are foolish to think we will allow you to take that information back to your master. Amused query. I think you will find the odds are somewhat in our favor. Now will you be giving us the codes, or not? Incredulous statement. Then we will have to take them from you, which I assure you was our preference to begin with.
I don't believe that statement. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's go Ion Blast. Use it up.
Optimal accuracy ratio achieved.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna focus fire.
Systems failing, Master. Systems failing, Master. Optimal accuracy ratio
Oh!
achieved.
Ouchie wouchies. Alright. Wow.
Systems failing, Master.
Oh, man. Ooh, HK chassis. Not that I need it, but okay. Alright.
Please enter the warehouse and report to C7E3 for assignment.
No, bye.
Wait, where are you going? You are not authorized to leave the warehouse.
This is highly disturbing that a droid is allowed to do this, but okay. It is something, like I said, that this game really does get right.
There you are. What kept you?
It treats droids going rogue as sufficiently disturbing to be funny.
Yeah, I know there's droids in the warehouse. So what? He says he's got the transponder codes to Voga's freighters, one that can be picked up by Godo. We can change the ID signature of the Ebon Hawk and get to Godo's yacht that way. We could go to the repair shop by the landing pad to overhaul the Ebon Hawk's codes. From there, we should make a nice target for Godo.
Count me in.
Yeah, right. You're the one who wanted to sell her to Godo in the first place.
Yeah. And I don't like being cheated. Trust me. Goto's yacht is going to have some pretty heavy defenses. You're gonna need all the help you can get.
I mean, to be fair, she also doesn't have any reason to try and turn in Mitra at this point because she's completely like Mitra's already caught by Godo. The bounty is already taken care of, so she has no incentive. Oh no, that's Rail. Incomprehensible chittering.
Insects. Looks like the Gand colony's out in full force.
A whole colony's here?
Yeah. The whole colony up and left some mid-rim world to come here, no one knows why. They haven't even done any bounties until your friend showed up. I guess whatever price is on her head is enough to wake them up. The problem is, there's hundreds of them. Just like the Zug brothers. We're not getting out of here without a fight. You ready?
Let's do this. Okay, let's level some people up, yeah? Well, not just people. Dex, yeah? Yeah? Yeah, alright. Yeah. Oh, another level. Really? What? How many levels is it gonna give me? Tough. Mira. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe I think I want to get her better dual wielding. Yeah.
Just say the word.
What does he have equipped? Static? No. He's gotta have Visibrack.
Let's do it. That's another one for me. That's another one for me.
I hear you. I hear you. Time to take you down to size.
Ready?
See, that actually wasn't so bad. This is something that I had to save scum like crazy the previous time I played this, so hold on. Let me make sure I get it right. It's F4 is quick save. Just in case this sucks. Let's lead with Atten because he has sniper shot. Let's take our corners nice and wide.
I'm good to go.
More where that came from. Time to take you down to size. More where that came from.
Let's see what you got. That's another one from me. That's another one from me.
More where that came from.
Alright. Bit of an issue for T3, but that's fine.
Let's move out.
Just say the word.
These are all almost certainly going to be lapped, so let's... Ooh, not this one, though.
Ready?
I hear you.
Oh. No, okay, never mind.
Ready? That's another one for me. That's another one for me.
There we go. Yeah, no, this is going way better than the previous time I did this. No, you know what I'm gonna do is Sonic Grenade.
Good go.
Alright, that's not good.
Let's move out.
Ooh, jeez.
Let's move out.
Uh-oh.
More where that came from.
Oh yeah, that's right, he has force deflection, I forgot. That's really handy. Of course I can't hit him.
Everyone down.
Okay, well here we go. Ooh. Alright, I'm fine. I should have just kited them in the first place. This was just stupid, that's all. Me being dumb. Still all out of force points. Nice that I'm deflecting them back at him.
Time to take you down to size.
Is there more out there? No, okay. Oh, he's like perfect light side. Gotta love it. Hmm. It's gonna be sneaky, so maybe I should use Mind Trick. Universal, though. You need light side powers. Let's go stun. And a shock stab. Didn't help much.
Ready?
Just say the word.
Mr. Rocket. Nice. Alright, where to? Back to the ship, right? Oh, there's more guys there. Okay.
More where that came from.
Ready?
More where that came from.
That's another one for me. That's another one for me.
Hell.
I hear you.
Another one for me. What you got? Like that?
Everyone down.
Yeah, Mira is really getting taken down pretty quickly. That's not great. That's not great. Oh, crap. No, Mira, do not.
Good to go. That's another
More
one
where
for
that
me.
came from.
That's another
Everyone
one for me.
down.
There we go.
I'm good to go. That's another one for me. That's another one for me. Let's move out.
I can't just sit and wait. That'd be fun. Yeah. Jesus. No. Anyway. Alright, so... one thing that's been in the news lately that's been of particular interest to me, both academically and personally, has been the that article that's been going around. A plea for pandemic amnesty. And if you can't tell from my tone, I think that the entire premise of the article is absolutely ridiculous and downright evil. I've talked about this a great deal before, particularly why. Well, I mean, we can, I think, hopefully, figure out why I think this is ridiculous and, quite frankly, evil. It has to do with points I've made before about. Excuse me. Yeah, there we go. Points I made before about justifications for certain, preventative measures and stuff like that throughout the pandemic, or lack of justification under most circumstances, or at least present circumstances.
Let's move out.
Passion grenade. Passion grenade.
Just say the word.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Very bad. Okay. Oh, this isn't good.
Let's settle this.
Let's move out.
Okay, well, I was afraid of that.
I hear you. More where that came from.
Does he have is there a lightsaber for him to use? No, there's not. That would have helped so much.
Time to even the odds. More where that came from.
Gosh. Uh-oh. So the point on the sort of pandemic amnesty thing, the justification for asking for, let's just forgive and forget, right, let's just move on. Their justification for it was, hey, we were all in the dark. None of us knew exactly the specifics of the situation.
More where that came from.
And because none of us knew the specifics of the situation, we can't really blame anybody, or at least we can't blame them, for making the wrong call. And of course, that's obviously false. It's very obviously wrong. But it might not be as obvious to just anybody. If you're not sort of working within a particular ethical paradigm, it might not be so obvious why this is ridiculously false. And so the reasoning is the reason why this doesn't cut it as an excuse, and could not cut it as an excuse, even if it were correct, even if it were not obvious that we were correct from the outset, right? Even if they had very good reasons for believing what they believed, etc., all that, right? Fine, we can accept that for the moment. And that we were all really in the dark. They could have gone either way. It could have been that they were right, or it could have been that we were right. Who knows? Unfortunately, that doesn't help them at all. Ethically speaking, that does not help their situation in the least. The reason being that because their side, so to speak, was the side which was primarily responsible for the imposition on us, on the rest of us, and on themselves, but for purposes of ethical significance, imposition on us, if we think of it in terms of competing sides of the argument. Because they were the ones seeking to impose a policy, they were the ones who would have need to have justified that policy, and you justify that policy by way of moral certainty. They are outrightly, or forthrightly, I suppose, admitting that there was no such moral certainty in the situation. And because of that lack of any moral certainty, what that effectively means is that they were admitting publicly that they were fundamentally unjustified in doing what they did, in putting forward all these policies and all that stuff. Canian Watchman. What does this do? Chance to stun. That might be good. You know what? Let's switch.
Just say the word.
I'm good to go. That's another one for me.
Just say the word.
That's another one for me.
Poison rocket, nice. This is the right way, right? Right. So anyway, if they're being truthful, that even if they are correct, that there was no knowing one way or the other, the factors that went into these decisions, basically what they're admitting is that they went off half-cocked, and it going off half-cocked led to untold disaster and destruction. Oh, right. Okay. Forgot. Need to switch out the thingy. And because of that, they are basically admitting fault, but not... They're mitigating their fault from deliberate down to reckless. Okay? They knew that what they were doing might be ethically and practically disastrous, and they chose to do it anyway. And make some things that do not have a lot of parts. Oh.
I'm good to go.
You can do this. Don't have a lot of components. There we go. Hybrid card. Okay. Get rid of the heavy mining laser. Anything else to get rid of? I'll break down one of those. Okay. There. Extra 30 points, which is pretty good. Alright, that'll do. Got a bunch of things. Anyway, so that is, I mean, that's a major point that the pandemic amnesty crowd has largely failed to realize is that the position that they're begging for is not a favorable position. It's basically the position that I have been attacking this for at least several months directly, because again, I've done some research on this, and I'm actually working on a paper about this. I don't know if it'll ever wind up getting published just because of the state of publication. Might have to publish it, like self-publish it, or publish it in some weird non-mainstream thing. But I'm looking at specific evidence from my university at how they handled pandemic response measures and things like that, and an examination of what would be, or what would ethically justify. I'm specifically looking at mandating masks in classrooms, and it would involve things like the principle of double effect, and it would involve things like certainty of outcomes that were not present, and this is in the face of correspondence which I have saved. I can publish. It's all public correspondence, with administrators from the university saying that they have no scientific, ethical, sociological, educational, or any other evidence whatsoever justifying the policy. None. And that is gross incompetence, to the point where it's almost impossible to explain without reverting to malice. But maybe we should, maybe we can, maybe we should try and explain through incompetence, but that is an unbelievable degree of incompetence, and it is massively widespread. It is not just my university. And it shouldn't be universities at all. Universities should be places of knowledge, the pursuit of knowledge, higher learning, experts talking to one another and sharing information and challenging one another. And that is not what I've experienced at all surrounding this topic. I think the lesson that we need to take away from this is never again. That this is something that cannot be allowed to happen again, especially on such shaky, at best, reason. Can you change our ship's ID signature? Yeah. Oh, hey. We have the Silver Zephyr. I like Silver Zephyr. That's a good name. Cool. Silver Zephyr. Good luck. Will be intercepted. 2 party members will aboard it to save Mitraseric. Who is the first person you want to send? I definitely want to send Disciple. And Mira. Is it only 2? I hate that it's only 2, but okay. Disciple and Mira. My dual-wielding massive damage output people. See that thing, that ship. That's a cool-looking ship. Looks stupid, but it's cool. I mean, it does not look very smooth. No fleeing. No, they're rescuing their leader from Godo. It means they have a way to reach him. Follow that ship. All space traffic around Nar Shaddaa will follow our suit. I guess. I don't know what they were saying. Really? They didn't, like, tractor beam or anything? They just, like, pointed a bunch of blaster turrets? That seems weirdly reasonable of them. No ion cannons? I know ion weapons were not nearly as well developed at this time period than they come to be later, but still, like, come on. Oh, Goto.
I was expecting someone taller. I hope you are not in too much pain to hear my words and understand them. I am Goto, one of the officials representing a percentage of non-sanctioned trading here in both the YouTube system and Republic space. And I had a question for you. Are you a Jedi?
This feels like one of those answer in the affirmatives and you will be killed kind of questions. Oh no, I've just dropped a lot of frames. It's troubling. What is happening? Are we okay? Not okay. Does not look like we're okay. Hold on a second. Okay. No, we're fine. We're still dropping frames like mad, though. What's going on? This is weird. Okay, guys, give me one moment, and I may need to disconnect and reconnect my... Okay, hello. I appear to be back. Am I back? I'm gonna wait until it actually appears as back on my restream here. Sorry about all this. I started getting nasty alerts all over. Let's see here. I assume it was the cutscene. The cutscenes in this are not rendered in a computer-friendly way at all. So yeah, it's an old game, so of course they're not. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're relatively good, especially with a sequence of like 2 or 3 of them in a row, played like that. I think it's a compression, like that because this had to fit on a disc. I think one disc in like 2003. It's understandable that compression ratios are really freaking weird. So anyway, sorry about all that. So, as I was saying, his question, are you a Jedi? Especially coming from him in this circumstance. really sounds like one of those renounce your faith kind of questions. Like he's trying to get her to deny being a Jedi, and if she does, then she gets to live. But if she does not, then she is to be executed. But I mean, then in that case, you do the proper and faithful thing in a situation like this. Obviously, so let's scoot over. Weirdly, what a frame. I am a Jedi.
I am already wasting precious minutes in granting you this audience, and I do not wish to waste any more. I have gone to considerable expense and effort to bring you here. It is because I have a job for you.
What? You have a strange way of asking for my help.
Yes, but I am not in the habit of asking for things, and you were so difficult to find even after that small incident on Paragus. There is something important to me I need protected.
Was he responsible for that?
The Republic. It is broken. What happened on Paragus has set in motion events that I can no longer control. Not to be melodramatic, but I fear it has broken the galaxy irrevocably. This has occupied much of my attention, and there seems to be no predictable way to resolve the situation.
Let me get this straight. You want me to help the Republic?
In one standard month, the Republic will collapse. Not due to war or secession, but because it lacks the infrastructure to support itself. It is unknown to all but a few, but the Sith won the Jedi Civil War. Even with their supposed victory, the war left the Republic on the brink of collapse. Rather than remain and help solidify the Republic, however, Revan chose to leave known space. A frustrating turn of events, as a rallying figurehead could have done much to restore order.
So this is a really interesting point about this game, and I actually really like this. But Kemby, your question first. Which set of films, TV shows, or games you enjoy most based on your personal preference? What about based on your interest in philosophy? Personally, it's hard to say, like, just in general, like, my favorite things. Films, TV shows, and games. I've played some of my favorites on here. I love the KOTOR games. I absolutely love the Mass Effect and Dragon Age series. I love Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 has some of the best storytelling in a video game I've ever seen. Let me see. As far as films, I'll go. I mean, again, not to be too tired about it, but Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. I enjoy a good. I enjoy a good, like, at least pre-Phase 3 Marvel flick. I enjoy a good comedy once in a while, but I really like the well world built epics. Things like Star Wars, things like Lord of the Rings, things like what are some other good movies that do this sort of thing that I really like? Basically, a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, because I like the world building aspect of it, which you don't get in a sort of realistic setting. And that actually, honestly, that goes for games, that goes for TV shows, that goes for novels as well. I can't get too well into ordinary world kinds of stories, except for sitcoms, I guess. Like I like Parks and Rec. I like Scrubs. Scrubs was great back in the day. I enjoyed How I Met Your Mother throughout a lot of it. Recently, I've really liked Cobra Kai, but Cobra Kai is in no way ordinary. That is a weird and extraordinary way of looking at the world, because the world of Cobra Kai is bizarre, such that there can be this basically gang war between a bunch of teenage karate kids, so to speak. I said the thing. And so the world building for it is actually expansive and almost fantastical enough for me to really dig my teeth into. So I really liked it. Plus, again, also for the deep philosophical themes, because I I did martial arts. I did kung fu, not karate, but I did Eastern martial arts for a very long time when I was growing up, and it's part of what got me interested in philosophy and philosophical understandings of those sorts of things, because Eastern martial arts are deeply philosophical, and there's a strong internal aspect to them. Yeah, magical realism. I like that. I like that as a description. It's realistic in a lot of ways, but also like, what if the strangest sequence of events happened in every episode? like, like there aren't straightforward plot holes, but my God, there are so many contrivances to make the world work in the way that it does, and it involves a lot of not pressing charges. Oh man, like almost every member of the cast should be in jail right now. But whatever. I can live with that as a set of contrivances, because I really enjoy the conflict, and I enjoy the character stuff, and I enjoy the world building, like the philosophical clashes and things between, and this actually leads into the other half of the question. The philosophical clashes between the like Miyagi-Do, well, Chinese in the Chinese martial arts, in kung fu primarily, northern kung fu especially, there is this salute that you may have seen in like old kung fu movies. You may have seen different versions of it. There's this, there's this, there's this, there's even one hand, or actually it would be left hand. But this is the most traditional of them, and this is from Northern Shaolin. And what this represents is the two aspects of the yin and yang, which come together in any martial art, or should come together in any well-balanced martial art, between power and softness. Let's say hard and soft. You have power and wisdom. You have the strength to get things done and the wisdom to know when to do it. And you'll notice that the way this works is the wisdom covers over and restrains strength, but without constraining it, without preventing it from doing what it's meant to do. And this is why our school of martial arts, our sort of, like I said, northern, primarily Shaolin and Mitsum, long fist. We emphasize this rather than doing this, which is a more traditional southern Chinese Shaolin style of salute. The criticism of this form is that wisdom completely covers over, the softness completely covers over strength. And that level of restraint means that, if you notice, now all we have is a larger fist. And so your only option, if you don't have the strength, which is tempered by wisdom, you don't have the capability to solve things non-violently, all you have is violence when you have to use it. And you'll have to use it more. And so it's that balance, that yin and yang kind of a balance that I see in Cobra Kai so well depicted throughout all 4 seasons so far, especially in the first one, because you have this almost archetypal conflict between Miyagi-Do and in Cobra Kai. And it's a weird inversion, in a sense, of the Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid, especially the first one, and each one speaks to its cultural moment in an incredible way. I've talked about this before, but I can't stop myself about this because I think it's brilliant. So the Karate Kid came out in the 80s, came out at the height of hyper-violent, hyper-masculine action movies. And so the Karate Kid is still an action movie. It's still about fighting. It's still about violence. And it's about the application of violence to solve problems. But it's restrained violence. It is peace. It is seeking peace through peaceful means and being violent when it's necessary, and being violent in a restrained and peaceful sort of way. And I think that was exactly what the American culture of the 80s really needed, was to show that you could still be badass, like Daniel, but to be calm and restrained and not as hostily aggressive, like Mr. Miyagi taught. But now, our culture is flipped. Right? We're in a very soft part of our culture. Right? Our culture is really, really soft. I mean, you see them making fun of this incessantly throughout the series, especially in season 4. Season 4 did a lot of making fun of the, especially from Johnny's perspective, of the passive softness of the culture. And yeah, like you said, it was very passive by 80 standards. But now today, Cobra Kai, and especially Cobra Kai, like the school, like Cobra Kai and Eagle Fang and Johnny's school, is very aggressive, is very harsh, but it's still tempered. It's still not Cobra Kai like we see it with Kreese and Silver. That's still seen as way beyond the pale, too excessive. But we see that Miyagi-Do, throughout the whole series, is insufficiently harsh. It's insufficiently strong. And so I think that what we have now is a kind of we still have the softness that our culture has, the passivity that our culture has, represented there, and represented not entirely in a negative light, because Miyagi-Do is still, or Johnny, or not Johnny, Daniel and Miyagi-Do are still the good guys, more or less, most of the time. But that it isn't all that you need. You need to go beyond that. You need the harshness of like Johnny's Cobra Kai, or like Eagle Fang, or whatever you want to call it, depending on what part of the show you're looking at. That is, again, it's taking the exact same lesson as we got in the 80s with the Karate Kid. It just looks like the complete opposite lesson because we're looking at it from the opposite side. It's a very balanced perspective, and it tells the same story in a way to two completely opposite audiences, culturally speaking. And it is exactly what they needed to hear then. We, I guess, needed to hear then. I wasn't quite alive yet, but what we needed to hear then in the 80s, and exactly what we needed to hear now in the late onesies and early 20s. I think it's very, very well done in that respect. I really like it. I really like the writing. I really like the philosophical underpinnings of it. Like I said, my biggest criticisms of the show would be inconsistency of consequences, and then also the show escalates like Dragon Ball Z. It does not know how to de-escalate from season to season, or even from episode to episode. The action only climbs up and up and up and up and up, and it has to top itself, and so it isn't sustainable. Right? There's no way that the show is sustainable beyond maybe 6 seasons. It's got maybe 2 more in it before it goes crazy. If they're really smart, they'll find a way to reasonably wrap it up in this season. Wait another 40 years, and then come back with like the next generation of kids. That'd be great. Wait like 20, 30 years and just do it again. Call the next series or whatever format is hip and cool in the 2040s, and just do a series or a show or a movie or a God knows what, and just call it Eagle Fang or something. Because why not? Anyway, that's been really, really enjoyable for me. And I also I've been going back and watching, what was the other show I watched recently? What was it? Oh, Stranger Things. Season 4 was actually very good. Nothing philosophical about it, really. So I don't have much input. I just thought it was good. So, yeah, there you go. 3, I didn't even bother watching. I heard so much bad about it that I didn't bother, and then I just basically caught up on synopses for season 4. Season 4 was really good. So, to be fair, the plot with Will and what's his name, main character, who is not the main character anymore. The plot in California was completely stupid and pointless. The Russia thing was weird and silly and contrived, but kind of worth it because of the thing with the sword at the end. But the actual main plot in Hawkins and then Eleven's journey were really, really good. Kevin says the sound effects and music suggests the drama is unsustainable. Yeah, I agree. It's getting more and more wildly over the top. Like the insane level of injuries in the season finale fight for season 4 was ridiculous. Like, I thought it was bad. I thought it was bad in, I guess it was in season 3, when Cobra Kai like breaks into the LaRusso's house. I thought that was bad, but man, it got worse. It got way worse. The season finale fight in season 4 was just absurd. Like, they're getting to the point of fighting to the death, and it's like, no, you can't do that in a show about teenagers. I don't care if they're not actually played by teenagers. You can't do that in a show about teenagers. Anyway, yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. I haven't been, other than that, really, other than those two, I haven't been watching a lot of new stuff, whether that's movies or TV. Um, and that's mostly because, like, I'm of the view and of that group of internet people who tends to think that quality has taken a steep nosedive. Very relatively recently, probably within the last 5 or 6 years, in most forms of media. So I haven't been keeping up with a lot of new stuff. Like, I've refused to watch Rings of Power, despite I did a video on it, but the video was on something that I can know without having watched the damn thing. I'm thinking about doing another video because I have another thing I want to talk about, but it might wind up requiring me to watch some of the show, and I don't know if I want to bring myself to do that. It's about the elves and their attitude towards immortality, which is, from everything I've heard and seen, is presented as gratuitously wrong in the show. Like, dangerously wrong, like, excuse me, like philosophically backwards kind of wrong. Anyway, though, yeah, I've heard that House of the Dragon was good, but I don't really have much interest in the world in Game of Thrones. It's far too grimdark kind of fantasy for me, which isn't what I go to fantasy for. So, yeah. I also read a lot of nonfiction. Like, I read a lot of philosophy books. Most recently, this one, which I'm actually thinking about maybe assigning for a class or so. Mentioned this Thursday, I think. Believing Philosophy by Dolores Morris. A Guide to Becoming a Christian Philosopher. It's a very good book. There are a couple of things I don't know if I'd correct, but I would push back on. But that's because a lot of the sort of apologetic arguments in here are very C.S. Lewisian, let's say, which isn't a bad thing. C.S. Lewis was brilliant. He was one of the best philosophers of the 20th century. That said, I think he has an undue influence on modern Christian philosophy and apologetics, even at the professional level, to the point where Morris's primary argument for God's existence in the second half of the book is the moral argument, which I think that, as presented by Lewis, has major flaws, mostly to do with the Humean distinction of fact and value. I think that's an untenable, unmotivated distinction that we should just forthrightly reject. Now, this isn't to say that the moral argument isn't rhetorically powerful. It's probably the one that is most likely to convince someone to believe in God. I don't think it's the most philosophically defensible, because it relies on a lot of errors like that. And, at least as stated by Lewis and as reiterated here, and I think that the reason it's so rhetorically powerful is the same reason that it's philosophically flawed, and that is because it relies on a lot of errors, primarily based in Hume and the fact-value distinction and things like that. That if you're going to argue against that, what it means is you're going to have to, like, uproot all of modern philosophy and throw it all away, and argue against everything that everyone thinks about everything, which is really hard to do, which is why the more classical arguments, the cosmological arguments, the teleological arguments, and the ontological arguments and the transcendental arguments even, are not as convincing to most people, but they are far more philosophically sophisticated and more based, let's say. I mean that in the colloquial sense and in the sense of they're based on more solid ground. But they're harder to explain because you have to explain everything about everything first. So that's a weakness. rhetorical weakness. Anyway, that's the thing. That's a thought on some of the stuff I've been reading as well. Like I said, I don't actually tend to read too much fiction. I tend to read and even listen to and watch more nonfiction. The curse of being an academic in a relatively no, just an academic in general, really, because a lot of my academic friends are like this as well. I have a tendency to read more nonfiction than fiction, even though I at least purport to really like nonfiction, or at least purport to really like fiction. Like the last time I went through and read the Lord of the Rings trilogy was I just finished a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. God, so enjoyable. Love it so much. But I also I haven't read that in like 10 or 11 years, maybe more. Because I just never get around to reading fiction. And reading new books. Jeez. Can't do that. I'll read a digital comic book once in a while. Not a lot. Older stuff mostly also. The old the Solomon Kane publications are amazing. Really well done comics, especially the Dark Horseman. Anyway. Oh man, that was a hell of a sidetrack. Back to what Mitra is talking about here, what Mitra and Godo are talking about, the instability of the Republic due to the Sith War, or the Jedi Civil War. This is to me at least, one of the most interesting elements of this game's story, far more so than the Kreia thing. Kreia's philosophical outlook is no more sophisticated than a 14-year-old who just read Ayn Rand. I've said this before, but this is fascinating because it speaks of, first of all, the lingering and sometimes unexpected effects of warfare, and especially victory in warfare. You can win a Pyrrhic victory like this. That's what the Republic at this point nearly did. Hasn't quite, because as we know, the Republic survives for another 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 years, then gets reformed, and then it survives for another 1,000. So, yeah, ultimately it all settles together, but it very nearly couldn't have. We're on the knife edge at this point. And it's because of this aftermath, the overextension of the central authority of the Republic out into the Outer Rim to try and defend against the Mandalorians, and then against the Revan and Malak Sith. And so what we have is the Republic spreading itself out too thin, and then beginning to collapse from the inside out. We see this throughout history. We see this happen to the Roman Empire. We see this happen to the Byzantine Empire. We see this happen to the Ottoman Empire that followed from it, although that was largely World War I. We see this happen to the Persian Empire. We see this happen to the several different dynasties in China. This kind of happened to the British Empire, although that kind of got eaten away at from the outside rather than collapsing from the inside. We saw it happen to the Soviet Union. We're currently watching it happen to the U.S. Like, this is a really common problem, and it's the curse of success on a geopolitical stage, because you cannot win something that is too costly to win, and especially if that thing is so far outside of your business that it doesn't benefit you in any way, which this did not, clearly. And so what we find here is the kind of inevitable result of this. And now we see what happens here at the beginning of this game with Paragus, this mining asteroid, this mining colony that gets destroyed. It seems relatively minor, but it is this one little aspect of an interconnected galactic economy that if one little thing falls, it's going to start affecting things on Telos. And if Telos falls, it's going to affect political things on Coruscant. It's going to affect political things and environmental things and a bunch of other things on Onderon. It's going to affect the Jedi and Sith. It's going to affect perceptions about the war. And then further, what we have as well, we have the effects of Paragus on Nar Shaddaa. It starts this conflict between the Exchange and the Hutts over fuel. and this is a conflict over here in sort of the Galactic East between major criminal syndicates that rival the Republic in real political power. And then you still have the lingering threat of the Sith, which wasn't eliminated. Wasn't eliminated in Paragus. Paragus doesn't have too much to do with that, to be fair, but that is sort of, again, at the root of this whole thing. And so we have this one little domino that seems to affect so many things, and we can easily imagine it affecting far more. Because if one major source of fuel for a major sector of the galaxy goes away, what that'll mean is that other places are having to get fuel from other places, and those other sources are now overtapped, and they're going to have to there are going to be shortages elsewhere. There's going to be price increases. There's going to be increases in production that may or may not be sustainable. There's going to have to be new investment to increase production. That investment's going to have to come from somewhere. If it comes from somewhere, it's going to be an expense to somewhere. And so this is like, this is a good explanation of the broken window fallacy. So this is a major observation of F.A. Hayek. F.A. Hayek? Right? I think it was F.A. Hayek. One of those 20th century Austrian economists pointed out that Keynesians, broadly speaking, thought that if you could stimulate demand through whatever means, then that would be a boon to the economy because people would start moving money around and people would start purchasing. And part of one way you can stimulate demand is by destroying things. If you break a window, what that means is the owner of the window has to replace it. When they have to replace that window, that means they're going to buy the services of a glazier, and that glazier is going to buy the services of everything that they need, and have the extra money then to spend it on other things, and it'll get the economy moving. This is about the velocity of money kind of thing. The velocity of money has a multiplier effect in Keynesian economics, which is all bullshit. And this is obvious because in a society where some kid breaks a window with a baseball, that society is, all other things equal, possesses one less window, and that's it. Because the person whose window is broken could have done other things with that money, but didn't. They could have spent it on something else, luxury goods, other necessities. They could have saved it and invested it, saved it for future consumption, or invested it and given it to other businesses to use, or other people to use when they need it. It is failing to see the unseen effects of something. And so this destruction of Paragus having these massive, far-reaching negative influences that could topple civilization from something relatively minor. One star system in the context of millions shouldn't be very much, but I think Godot's right. This can have a massive influence, and that we should be careful about these sorts of things. We shouldn't just say, well, Paragus got destroyed. That means people are going to need to rebuild it. People are going to need to get their fuel from some other places. And that's going to drive investment to those other places. And that's good. Yeah, but fine. But that investment would have gone elsewhere. And now it's not. And so all we're missing, the only change that has happened to the galactic economy is a massive amount less fuel. So it's entirely negative. Not just on net, it's entirely negative. And so I'm really glad to see them acknowledge this sort of thing, which is brilliant. Really brilliant. Anyway, this is the aspect of this game that I think is absolutely glorious. And this is actually something that I'm trying to remember what was Noah Calderon-Gervais, who did a video essay on KOTOR 1 and 2. I think he criticizes this for being overly simplistic or something. I was like, no, it's really not. This is actually a very sophisticated argument. It's very important. Meanwhile, he just cannot stop praising Kreia and her brilliant subversion of classical Star Wars tropes. And I was like, yeah, okay, we get it. You're 14 years old and you read Nietzsche once. A lot of people praise this game for Kreia, whereas they should be praising this game for Godo. He's a really, really good anti-villain, whereas Kreia is just evil. She's just a villain. And she's an interesting one because she's manipulating things behind the scenes, and that's interesting. But her motivations are as ridiculous as Thanos. And yes, I will defend that, but I'm not gonna right now. Anyway. What do you expect me to do about it?
There is something moving in the galaxy that lies beyond the ability of my instruments to detect or predict. I believe it to be a legacy of the Sith, but I have been unable to determine the source. Whatever this presence is, it is staging strikes at key figures throughout the Republic, and through some unknown means, it is causing the destruction of worlds. Qatar, a Miraluka world in the Mid-Rim, was one such place. I have reason to suspect there was a gathering of Jedi on that world when it was rendered lifeless. I cannot find any pattern in these attacks, and it is a source of frustration to me. There is some clue, however, that perhaps the Jedi are linked to these attacks, or that the targets are significant in some way I have yet to discover.
I'll do what I can. I don't want to see the Jedi wiped out.
You misunderstand me. I do not wish to stop the Sith any more than I wish to stop the Jedi. It is simply important to me that the infighting amongst these Jedi religious branches be resolved so the galaxy may be put back together. I do not care which one triumphs. I only want the universe to settle down for a while, catch its breath. All these constant crises are getting somewhat repetitive.
Now that's clever subversion of the Star Wars trope, because again, Star Wars is the story of like 6,000 years of constant conflict between the Jedi and the Sith. But he winds up being right, because after KOTOR 2, there is a period of remarkable calm for I think it's 600 years. Until the what's it called? The Great Galactic War, I think. When the Sith reappear from the unknown regions, retake Korriban and Droman Khas, and then move out and attack the Republic, and then eventually sack Coruscant, force a Cold War. The Cold War is the events of the Old Republic, the MMO, moving on from there into again a series of interminable conflicts that last decades. So another issue like this. I would like to see the Old Republic do something like this, where somebody is just like, stop it. We need to have peace for just a little while. Everyone needs to calm the hell down because the galaxy is ripping itself apart. Actually, I really like this as a plot development because it's real. It's incredibly realistic, and also it manages to be realistic while also being aspirational. I mean, he's cynical, sure. He doesn't care who wins, just as long as it's somebody. But at the same time, like, he's promoting peace for, I think, the right reasons. That we should be interacting harmoniously with one another because it is what's best for everyone. So how do I put it this way? Obviously, it would be bad if the Sith took over the galaxy. Clearly. The Sith are evil tyrants. And they are out to destroy things and rule for the sake of the rulers and whatnot. But at the same time, even that would, I think, have to wind up being preferable to a state of constant warfare for decades. Because decades of constant warfare is a state of absolute instability where the world can't sustain itself. We can't have systems of production. Can't have a productive society when it's constantly in conflict like this. And so peace is in some cases preferable to victory. Not saying we should shoot for surrender, because no, we should destroy the Sith. We should stop them. We should put a victory to this once and for all, and that involves what the rest of this game involves. But we have a good, better. We have a bad, better, best kind of scenario here, where bad situation is ongoing conflict. Better than that, but still bad, is victory for the Sith. But then good, for finally the best scenario, is victory of the Jedi and restabilization of the Republic. Why do you care about the Republic, speaking of?
You could say I am something of a patriot.
Really?
Although I was unable to serve served during the troubles with the Mandalorians or against the aggressors known as Malak and Revan, I am able and willing to serve now. The problem is I can find no side to choose. Both are hidden from me as they seem to be hiding from each other. Irritating.
That's true.
It is like a Dejaric board where neither player can see the other, nor see all the pieces. It is not a fair game, an equitable game.
Maybe you should try Pizak. I mean, I hate these options again because you have Snarky, Republic bad, Republic really bad. I guess let's be snarky. Maybe you should try Pizak.
Pizak bores me. I often suspect my opponent of cheating. I prefer predictable games such as Galactic Economics.
Alright, well, I'll do what I can to help. That was my intention in the first place.
Excellent. It really is in your best interests, you know. There is no margin for error when I say that these Sith seek to murder you and all Jedi everywhere. They have been quite deficient. And when they dispose of you, there will be nothing left to stop them, and the galaxy will fall under their influence.
I have no problem helping if you set me free.
Ah, well, there is where we are at cross purposes. I cannot set you free. You have a tendency to cause dangerous repercussions wherever you go, and I would rather keep those to a minimum. The galaxy really is a fragile place right now. I am a businessman. The Republic needs stability to survive, prosper, and grow. Whether it is led by the Sith or supported by the Jedi is of no consequence to me.
Yeah, so how does he expect her to help if he's gonna keep her here on the ship? Maybe you should pay attention to troubles on your own ship.
It is the proximity alarm. We are under attack. Somehow your allies have found you. Unexpected. You will remain here under guard. I must see to the defense of my ship.
Great.
Announcement. We seek to make Goto aware of our services, allowing us to facilitate communication and terminate hostilities in the galaxy. If that means blowing up planets, slaughtering entire species, or allying ourselves with the Sith, then that is the logical choice. Our predecessor would never understand our directives. He was slow, weak, and his vocabulary was prone to static.
Yeah, okay.
That's another one for me. Ready?
Ratio.
I'm listening.
That's another one for me. That's another one. For me. That's another one for me.
Damn. Damn.
Ratio achieved. Optimal accuracy ratio achieved. Optimal accuracy ratio achieved.
Really? Really hope I don't have to go through that whole conversation again.
Optimal accuracy ratio
Damn it.
achieved.
Crap. When did it last autosave me? Okay, I'm a Jedi. Strange way of asking for help. You want me to help the Republic? How can I help? I'll do what I can. Why do you care? Maybe you should try Pizak. I'll help. Free me! Maybe you should pay attention to that. Alright, cool. That was quick enough.
Announce. Radio achieved.
This shouldn't take long.
I am
Good to
ready.
go.
Master accuracy ratio
That's another one
achieved.
for me.
Systems failing, Master.
Let's see what you got.
Systems
There we go.
failing, Master.
Much better.
I'm good to go. Stand back. Easy.
Hey.
Something you need of me?
I'm good to go.
Okay. Computer use is great. Demolitions is great. Security is... Alright. What's the current count? 6. Override. Override? There we go. Let me ask you, are there any games you haven't played yet are recommended to you? Specifically philosophy games. What's it called? Deus Ex series. I've thought about putting on here. The Metal Gear series I've played some of, but I haven't in a very long time, and certainly not since I've started academically studying philosophy. And I've thought about doing on here. I have, what was the other one? A Plague Tale. Was recently recommended to me, again, philosophically speaking, for ethical stuff, and especially ethical stuff in the context of disease theory and things like that. The danger that somebody presents, and what is sufficient and morally acceptable means for mitigating the danger presented by somebody who may be innocent, that sort of thing. What are some other ones? There are some of the sort of Lovecraftian games that I'd really like to play on here with you guys. One I just picked up, but I haven't started because I'm thinking of just doing it on stream at some point, is the Sinking City, I think it's called. Sinking or Sunken? I think it's Sinking City by Frogware. The same studio that does the Sherlock Holmes games, but this is a Lovecraftian spooky madness one. Investigative kind of game. Should be really fun. Looks pretty cool. I've heard good things about it, and I might play it on here at some point. I'm trying to think what else has been recommended to me for this sort of thing. Some of the games I have played on here have been on recommendation. Nier Automata was recommended to me. Far Cry was recommended to me. Even Kingdom Come Deliverance was almost insisted upon by a lot of people. Oh, L.A. Noire. That's true. I actually haven't finished it. I started playing it at some point, but I never got back to it because I never reinstalled it on my computer when I had to do a bunch of hardware updates, hardware upgrades and stuff. A few months back. Yeah, that might be a good one. I've heard good things about it. It's cool so far. Some of it might be a little bit different style from what I'm used to doing here because it's very involved. There isn't a lot of just sort of stuff going on for me to talk over and comment on. Overload. So it would be a lot more involved, and I'd have to be talking about things as they're happening, kind of thing. Defense summary. Pure defense. Over 12 mines. Program not to be triggered by Goto droids. Okay. Camera. Oh my god, that's a lot of droids. Okay, audience chamber. 8 powerful turrets. And droids. Okay, exterior. Over a dozen powerful turrets. Jesus. Alright. Place the computer. Full access granted. Grade droid. Should I have done that? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe that wasn't wise. Yeah, L.A. Noire is one I'm thinking about. Access memory core. Oh. Shutdown. Interesting. I have the program shut down. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I am ready.
That's another one for me. That's another one for me. Let's move out.
Yeah, L.A. Noire and Kingdom Come have some similarities, but Noire is far more linear. Both have agency free will themes. Far more in Kingdom Come. Okay, cool.
That's another one for me.
Ooh, ouchies.
That's another one for me. That's another one for me.
0-0.
Let's move out.
You have left me an opening. I am listening.
000101. Okay. Unpleasant. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm certainly interested in L.A. Noire. I just it's one of those that I just never got back around to. Access code containment cells. Okay, cool. Good. See what I can do here. Programs library. Basic diagnostic. Status information in the system. Main menu. Systems. Turn back. Unlock. Containment cell. Return. Program library. Upload programs. Overload and shutdown. Turn. Okay. Systems. Basic diagnostic. Shutdown containment cells. Turn. Minefield is inactive. Good. Turret defense. Operating normally. Droids. Normally. Power distribution. Available. No other restricted systems. Okay, cool. Done for now. Alright, let's keep looking. This is a nice little layout. I like this place. The, like, graded paneling is a little bit odd, but I like the furniture is very nice. I dig the furniture. Maureen Cleaver. Cool. Alright. Let's continue on in. Let's quick save. Alright, security doors. Let's go. Let's try out this one. Oh. Oh no, this is containment. Okay. Containment cells. Hey, droid. Hello. Badly damaged. Memory core. Ooh, access codes to the turret system. Awesome. Anything in here? Okay. I'm looking forward to Mira becoming force sensitive. I misspoke. Manifesting force sensitivity. There we go. Because it's not like she becomes force sensitive. Unlock turret system. Turn to main. System controls. Turret defense. Overload.
Easy.
I am listening. I am ready.
Ready? Ready?
Something you
Ready?
need of me? I am ready.
That's another one from me.
0, 1.
All right. Okay, not bad, not bad.
Ready?
Something you need of me?
Let's move out.
Open this up. Okay. And summary. Audience chamber. Still a problem. Irrigation chamber. There's nobody in here. Overload. Exterior defense. Turrets. Interior defense. That's still a problem. Main menu. Okay. the hell am I supposed to be going? Game console. Nothing to unlock. Restricted.
I am listening. This battle is joined.
0.
Okay, they have to be speaking binary, and I don't know binary. Certainly not well enough to pick it up as I'm hearing it as things are exploding. But I'm very curious. Hey, this looks like that one conference room in the White House where that one time when Joe Biden decided to show the faces and names of several covert operatives. Remember that? That was cool. That was really dangerous and deadly and not very smart. Alright, let's see. Not very smart, Joe Biden, of course. Let's see. Another security console. I can't do anything, can I?
I'm good to go.
Here I can. No, nothing.
I am listening.
Yeah. Oh! Let's not. Let's not.
I'm good to go.
No, let's not. Let's not. Let's not. Let's not. Let's not.
I am ready.
Okay, there's got to be a better way through than that. I think this is that horrible hallway of death. Exterior defense. Okay. Commercial room and lab station. Okay, this might be good. Yeah. This is that conduit we overloaded.
I'm good to go.
Okay, let's see. Yeah. Plasma projector, stealth unit. Alright, alright. Bad, not bad. It's there.
Something you need of me?
I'm good to go.
Let's see, lab station. What can we get? Oh, wait. Let's create some. Right? No. No? Might be useful, might be needed. Eh, darn. There. Somebody right on the other side of that door, I can tell. Any restricted systems? Nothing new there. Okay. Nice security door, huh? Come back to it. Cargo bay. Wrath Holy Battlesuit? Sounds really cool.
Stand back.
That's really cool.
Something you need of me?
Okay, flex heavy armor. Nice. Where's that? Wrath Holy Battlesuit. No, see, that's actually just straightforwardly worse than what I have. Our battle armor, just worse. Durasteel, worse. Worse. No. 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 No, my, what I have is actually much, much better. Much better. Alien blinders, mask. Ooh, weapon focused lightsaber. That's not bad. Regenerate force points 1. Unity stun for your horror. Heavy armor. Well, at least I don't have to see it on his face. That was a good mod. I'm glad that I got rid of base slot items. Okay. Onward we go. Did I just quick load? I just quick loaded. I hit the wrong button. Crap. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Wasn't that...
Ready?
Something you need of me?
Not that far back. It's fine.
I'm good to go.
Alright, it's fine. What?
Easy.
Okay. This isn't where I was going. That can be where I go next, though. Alright, let me grab this stuff real quick. I'm very glad that my quick save wasn't that long ago.
Easy.
Oh hey, I didn't realize she had a boot knife. Pretty cool.
Stand back.
I am ready.
Now it's properly quick save. There we go. Get a droid. At the reset program. Okay, okay. Cool. Doesn't actually help me. I think that is reactivating things that I have deactivated, which I don't want to do at all. Alright. There. Here. Am I missing anything? This is maintenance room, huh? Alright. All I have left is the exterior defense room and the maintenance room. I'm hoping the maintenance room has,
I am listening.
Oh.
Let's move out.
I'm hoping this has, the last couple of, access codes. No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe, though. We'll see. If that is the case, then I actually stand a chance at finishing this quest tonight. Believe it or not. Now, that is despite all of the sidetracks that we've got.
Easy.
I should say, by the way, I have been doing some... let's see... I've been doing some off-stream Kingdom Come. Not too much. But a little bit. Primarily things like the little side mission activities, jobs, things like that. Also, I lost a tournament. Because of course I did. It was close. I won the first fight, and then I lost the second two. Should I do this? No, on the bridge, okay. Audience chamber, that's gonna be a problem. Interrogation chamber, not a problem. Exterior defense. Exterior defense is gonna be a problem for me. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh. Oh, cool. Okay. Alright, well, it failed to... Alright, I guess. That's fine. I failed to shut them down altogether. That's probably fine.
I am listening.
That's another one for me.
You have left me an opening!
This is working fine. Uh-oh,
That's another one for me.
I am ready.
This one is mine!
Good to go.
I am ready.
Ready? Let's get started.
I am ready.
Good to go.
There we go.
That's another one for
I
me.
am ready.
That's another one for me.
Alright, that's all of them. Cool. Gotta work those corners, man. Yep, stationary turrets are really useful. Not if there are corners like that. If there are corners like that, stationary turrets are more of a liability. Alright, let's level up Mira. Moderately light side, that's almost surprising. Best dual wielding.
Move out.
Okay, no bin here. Let's quick save again.
Something you need of me?
Yep.
Let's move out.
Something you need of me?
That's another one for me.
That's fine.
Ready? That's another one for me. That's another one for me.
Something you need of me?
Alright, there we go.
Ready?
Main console. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Alright, rear of the ship, sealed
They have
hatch.
gotten farther than I calculated. They are
Wait, what?
very resourceful. But they shall go no farther. Deploy the guard droids. Raise the force fields. We will trap them within the ship. Activate the mines. Let us see how far they get now.
It's fine, it's Mira. This isn't right. I'll go back to it. And I screw with the minefield. Okay. Containment cells. Shut down. Inactive. Systems control. Nothing else I can do here. Lock restricted system. Nothing. Nothing just yet.
Something you need of me?
That's another one from me.
That doesn't look like a fire suppression
Defend
unit.
yourself!
I mean, I guess.
Something you need of me?
Alright, let me see. Audience chamber. I'm sure that's where Mitra is. So let's go there next, I suppose. This is gonna be rough, but okay, let's do it. Unless this is a really bad idea.
Ready?
It might be.
Something you need of me?
Let's move out.
Something you need of me?
That was not actually that hard.
Good to go.
Alright. I mean, it was partially because the turrets went all haywire, and the droids had to fight them. So there were fewer droids and fewer turrets. Well, no turrets. Alright. Let's see. Hi, Mitra. Hooray!
I am ready.
Ready?
How about Mira, not Mitra. Yeah, Mira. Mira. Okay. This droid will now protect us. This droid will now protect us. Console. Power distribution access code. Primary power system. Secondary system. Cloaking device. Okay. Main menu. Okay, cool. So, secondary has everything. Literally everything. Let's do some leveling here. Wait. Light Master, +3 Constitution. Very nice. No, not auto. Skills. Okay, powers. Master heal, absolutely. Powers. Disable droid. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Last few minutes, I think we can finish this up tonight. Fingers crossed. Wait a minute.
Let's move out.
No, Mira. No, not defense summary.
I'm ready.
Let's move out.
Where's the other console? This one, right? Main console. Unlock restricted system. Unlock power distribution. Main menu. Systems control. Power distribution. Restrict the bridge. Darn. Shut down. Alright, can't do that yet. Alright, fine. This is a weird ship layout where where it seems at least
I am ready.
Ready?
like the bridge is in the rear. I mean, you get that once in a while. Normandy, for that matter. Oh, this is going to be time-consuming, but easy. Definitely worth it.
That's another one for me. That's another one for me. Oh, hey. Can I ask you something?
Why are you looking at me like that?
Your face. You have this glow. I mean, not a real glow, but it's like you're calm. At peace, but it's more than that. You haven't been chewing on spice, have you?
When one's in touch with the Force, others can feel it.
Oh, well, it shows. It's like you're hooked up to a power coupling. It's weird. I mean, not bad weird, just weird. For a minute there, I thought you and Aden... But it's just the Force.
Not that kind of glow, it's just the Force.
Got it. Just checking.
No, it's me and Disciple. See. Hoping we can talk.
Talk? About what?
Wanted to know you a little better is all. I'm not going to ask about Med. That seems silly.
Why, you trying to be my mother? No thanks. Already had one. Somewhere.
Just thought you might need a friend.
No thanks. I didn't need friends on Nar Shaddaa, and I don't need them now.
Alright, never mind then. That's all.
I am listening.
I'm good to go.
Ooh, minefield. Nah. Gonna steal them all. I could use a ton of deadly frag mines. And 8 minutes. I think we can do 8. I think we can do this in 8 minutes. I think we can do it. I mean, Mira does not trigger mines, so that means that even if she fails this check, which is almost impossible, we'll be 100% fine. And I managed to kite the droids perfectly well. Okay, sweet. Minefield is taken care of. Alright. Quick save one more time. Oh, hi droids.
This looks like some kind of monitoring station, but it's tracking incredible amounts of data.
I suggest you surrender. Your chances for escaping this vessel are near 0, and your chances of survival are rapidly approaching that number. Your ship and your lives are mine. The only question is how much resources you are.
I thought you wanted my help. Why are you like this?
I am ready. I am ready.
Ready?
You have left me enough.
Let's get started.
This battle is joined.
Well, that was...
Something you need of me?
Ready?
That was really easy. Let's solo mode again for just a minute. I need to check for mines, and this is dangerous work for everyone else. God, all these mines! Maybe I should have just disabled them. It's gonna be a minute. I also could just blow them all up, technically. Actually, I don't think I can. For some reason, they're not susceptible to destroy droid, which is really weird. I totally thought I could exploit that. Yeah, I really thought I could exploit that by just single targeting one of the mines, blowing up the rest of them with the chain reaction, killing all the droids, but I guess not. Guess not. Oh my god, there's more of them. Why are there so many mines? I mean, I guess thank you for all the free mines. I'm really glad I'm glad I brought her on this mission with her massive demolition score. God. How many deadly frag mines did I just pick up? Gotta be at least 20. And there's 10 more here. This is insane. Might not have time to finish this. I honestly might wrap it up getting to the bridge, because we got 5 minutes left, and I really do have to hard cut off at midnight. I've got class early in the morning, and the whole fall back thing has got me awfully tired, awfully early. We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I probably will actually wrap up once I get everybody together and ready to jump in and get onto the bridge. I think this is the last bit of it. I think there also might be escaping the ship, which is, I think, relatively trivial, but I don't call for sure. So we'll see. I think I will just gather everybody together here and wrap it up. Because this is as good a stopping point as we're going to find in the next 4 minutes. High security door. Hey guys, you want to come here? There we go. Alright. Okay. Both of these doors go to roughly the same place. In which case... let's go there. Alright, cool. So, with that, I will leave us off until next time. So, thank you all so much for joining me once again. I hope to see you again next Monday for more Knights of the Old Republic 2. And before then, next Thursday, as we can continue in Kingdom Come Deliverance, we'll see where I begin. It's not exactly the same place we left off on. It's close by. It's in Sasau, but no, it's not. No, I did move. We'll see. I might wind up being back in Sasau. I did some random tasks and things like that. Excuse me. I may need to, I don't know, alleviate certain guards coming after me in the interim. I may have been doing some nighttime thievery off stream. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Otherwise we'll be jumping right in there or wherever I wind up being between now and then. And so I'll see you guys hopefully Thursday, and then hopefully again right here again on Monday. So thank you all again so much for joining me. Hope you had a wonderful time. I certainly did. If you want to help out, keep keeping up doing what I'm doing. If you like what I do, appreciate it, and want to show your support, you can go to ko-fi.com/Professor McCoy right down there. Throw a little money at me as a little thanks. Keep this whole show on the road. But otherwise, thank you all once again for joining me. Remember, don't be safe, be good, be well, and more importantly, be good. I need to practice that. If I'm actually going to use it as a sign-off, I practice. Anyway, thank you again. Have a good night.